Rhythm Heaven is one of Nintendo's more often forgotten franchises. With 4 games in Japan, only 3 getting released in the West, and 2 getting physical releases in North America, it hasn't amassed a massive fan base. But the fan base it has gained is a very passionate one, praying that their favorite series will finally get the chance it deserves. I am one of those said fans, and when I was watching a Nintendo Direct on March 27th, 2025, I was never expecting to see Rhythm Heaven Groove getting released on Switch that next year. I was ecstatic. Fever on the Wii is one of my top 5 favorite games of all time, so I was really excited to dive into another rhythm adventure. And even though it took a full year to get news and another few months to release, it's finally here and I couldn't be more happy. So today I'm going to go through my thoughts on everything this game has to offer and determine whether or not this game is worth a purchase. When first opening the main menu, it seems like there's a lot of things to do, but some are just settings and others are random unnecessary tabs, so all we really need to focus on is the single and multiplayer games. Let's start with single player. So single player is your standard Rhythm Heaven story mode. You play 4 mini-games and then play a remix that jumbles them all together. I was concerned that the new mini-games wouldn't have the same quality, but in my opinion they are on par with the quirkiness and quality mechanics from series past. I had a lovely time playing through all the new games. Most of them were immediately understandable and easy to pick up. There was never one that I truly hated, only a few that I just couldn't get the handle of. Like, for example, in Fever, I hated Love Rap. The visual and audio cues never made sense to me and I just faked it until I made it. None of the games in Groove really made me feel that way. Just a few games like Can Do and Yumbot Simulator that never really clicked with me with some of the audio cues. But what is even more surprising is that they managed to keep up the quality over 82 levels, the most in series history. There are 20 remixes. Oh my god. Since there is so many levels, this game switches it up and there's 40 of those levels on the front side and 40 of them in the flip side. Flip side consists of 3 sequels, a new game, and a remix in every column. And there is a lot more sequels than the other games, but they introduce enough new things for them to not feel stale. And the final column is 5 remixes in a row, which are mixes of the entire game. It's an absurd amount of remixes for one Rhythm Heaven game, but they're always my favorite part. They're so satisfying to pull off. Now on the topic of difficulty, in my opinion this was definitely easier than Fever, and I haven't really done all the levels in DS or Mega Mix to have a reliable opinion on those, but for reference, I spent like 4 days trying to get a medal on Remix 10 and I couldn't. Probably just a skill issue, but that's besides the point. I got 1 miss on Remix 20 in Groove in 3 attempts. 3! And I never had to try a level again, even if I thought I did real bad on a stage. The scoring is very lenient. I really want to talk about the visual style of this game because I love it. The Rhythm Heaven art style was always very charming and beautiful to look at. All the characters are just adorable, and the mix of 3D models and 2D visuals look really cool. And many of the visual animations made me laugh, like these birds that drop like bricks. That made me die laughing for some reason. Or maybe even the ridiculous parts of High Five Fever and A for Effort, where in High Five Fever, the group of performers move to different parts of random stock images, or A for Effort, where references to last Rhythm Heaven games are hidden in stock images. The impact of the images in A for Effort made it probably a little more fun than it should have been. And on the topic of music, as this is a music game, the soundtrack absolutely slaps. Especially the remixes. I'm glad to see that they put the same love and care into every aspect of this game. Overall, I think that the main single player experience here is just as solid as every other game in the series, but single player still has something else new to try. Beat Spell. This is a mode that they promoted to high heaven during the trailers and gameplay demos leading up to launch. I never really saw the value in it, and now having played it, I still don't really see it. Like, it's fun, but only for like 5 minutes and then it gets very repetitive. My theory is that this was supposed to be a minigame idea that just went a little too off the rails and they made it its own side mode. It's fine if you just need to play something else besides the main game. And that's about all single player has to offer besides your standard rhythm toys and cafe. Let's move on to multiplayer because I think it is very interesting. In my opinion, the multiplayer in Rhythm Heaven Fever was quite lackluster. There was pretty much only a few random minigames you could play with a second person at the same time. It felt shoehorned in. But Rhythm Heaven Groove switches it up with an entirely separate menu with separate original games. Well, not original games in terms of the overall series, but separate from the single player content. There are 10 games with 3 separate difficulty levels that you unlock after beating the previous one, totaling 30 whole games. And these games are no slouch either. Rhythm Tweezers returns in the 3rd difficulty is pretty much that one meme video from a while back. Most of the games here are mini-games that appeared in past games, like Rhythm Tweezers and Sick Beats and Ninja Bodyguard from Tengoku and Archer Angel from Fever. And there's other new ones like Sumo Wrestlers, Bouncing on Balls, and Shooting Crap with Lasers. Returning or not, me and my group of friends had an absolute blast with this mode. The music is amazing and the gameplay is incredibly fun, and it has a nice balance of competitive and cooperative games. Although, that matching game was kind of stupid and long, nobody liked that one. But like, unironically, this might be some of the best multiplayer Nintendo has released this entire year so far. Besides Besides that, you have your comics and stuff you unlocked after getting perfects and whatnot, and a sound test menu, but that's about it. You will sink the most time in a single and multiplayer. So my overall verdict, which you could probably infer from the title and my tone this whole video, is this game truly worth $40? Yes. It absolutely is. This is a wonderfully unique and exceptionally fun package. If you are at all interested, please pick up this game. I need Nintendo to make more of these.